the recognized symbol of excellence in collecting podcasts.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Mighty Champions Action Figure Radio. This is the show where we talk about action figures, toys, collectibles, and all that sort of thing. Thank you very much for joining us, making us part of your day. My name is John Sargent.
And my name is Christian McGann.
You have come to the right place because we have got a fat one for you today. We are going to get into the newest, biggest, and baddest on-deck collections that we've got lined up, which is Lord of the Rings for Christian.
Correct.
Terminator 2 for me.
Correct.
Can't wait to start talking about that. We're going to go through the news. We're going to talk about all the news that's fit to print in the action figure world. And then we are going to do a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles quiz. Playmates, 88, the good stuff. You got your
88 through 90 something.
Yeah.
So, okay, just making sure you know.
Yeah, no, I only studied the 1 year.
Okay.
Can't wait to do that. See if my 5-year-old self comes back to me and has this knowledge. Yeah, and then in addition to that, you guys can follow along on the show on Instagram. I highly recommend it because that's where we put all the visuals. You're going to see our weekly pickups. You're going to see the episode drops. You're going to see the topic of the week, what Christian bought in his hunts this week, what I bought in my hunts this week. Funny stuff, all that sort of thing is going to be at Mighty Champions on Instagram. What you'll also see on there is the link to get $15 off your first order when we do our Whatnot show on February 13th and I sell off the complete overflow of my collection. I've got, I don't even know, 24 probably, dope figures between Marvel Legends, AEW, WWE, Star Wars, that's going to go up on Whatnot. Auctions are going to start at $1. Even if you're not there to buy anything, you can hang out with us for a couple hours and we can chat with you guys and all that stuff. So go to Instagram, click on the link, get your $15 off, hang out with us, and buy my stuff on Whatnot on February 13th.
Heck yeah.
That gets all the admin out of the way. Well, things are weird today. We normally record on Friday afternoon.
Yep.
Historically. It is currently Saturday morning, and as we're sitting here, Austin, Texas is being thrust into the ice age, and the outside world is icing over as we speak. Christian might not be able to leave. Did you bring your PJs?
Brought my PJs. Excuse me, onesie.
So we're going to eat some pizza rolls and play some video games tonight because you can't go home.
You know what I thought about that? I'm like, dang, man, like I need to have like an Arctic collection the same way that we've talked about how we enjoy the Arctic action figure.
Yo, go check out our Frozen, top 10 Frozen
Exactly.
figures.
It's like, man, when they put out, like, I'm a sucker for if they make a character, they're like, hey, it's Arctic. Now he's white and blue or whatever.
Yeah.
I need to have that for myself.
Yeah. Seasonal collection that you take out only during the certain months.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Arctic Donatello now, but you put him away and you bring out Surfing Michelangelo in July. Yeah. So it's weird out around here today, but honestly, I'm digging it, dude. Could there be anywhere better to be stranded for a couple of days than surrounded by toys and movies and video games?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I was like, I love the idea of like forced downtime, but like not where it's like bad. It's just like, hey, we can, take some time to just like lay at home and do nothing. Like that just sounds just what the doctor ordered. So
here's what's on my agenda for the weekend.
Okay.
Getting this WWF Hasbro ring refurbished.
That's perfect.
And doing a reel at Mighty Champions that is going to kind of step by step it. From beginning to end, before and after kind of vibes as I like refresh the ropes and the stickers and clean it and get it back to sparkling and then figure out how I'm going to actually display it. So I've been looking for some downtime where I wasn't sick.
Yeah.
And the world has presented me a weekend where I'm not going to be able to leave. So looking forward to that. But how's your week been?
Week's been good, man. Been fast. Still walking the streets. It's real weird because, for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, I've had an epic car saga, and it has not reached an epilogue yet. So I've been walking to work, which is about an hour walk. And it's so weird, man, because you're like seeing things that you drive by every single day up close. And it's just like, I'll walk past like these tiny little crevices and there's just people like living life in between those crevices. And I'm like, would this be happening if I wasn't here? Like, am I seeing this? It's like
it's like a Truman Show.
That, or like, if the tree falls in the woods, does it actually make a noise if no one's around to hear it? That's kind of what it feels like. Like, I'll just see people talking and then they'll just kind of like look at me and I'm like, hi. Like they're like making deals or whatever. I don't know, man. It's good, but it's a great way to get a lot of steps in the day. But yeah, it's been a pretty good week. I think I may have told you this before, but I'm a Sopranos connoisseur, and I love fan fiction. And Sopranos is a show where I never thought I would have fan fiction for it. And then, like, lately, I've just been, like, having the Sopranos story in my head.
Because you've got 2 hours of walking and...
Yeah, maybe that's it. I'm like, well, first of all, like, I'll watch it and I'm like, oh, that's genius. Like, the way that they write, how they throw in these little things. But it's such a rich universe. And they give you almost an overload of detail about the world they live in. Because one of the good things that they do when they write and how they write the script and stuff.
Would you buy Sopranos figures?
I don't know if I would buy the figures.
Isn't it a weird thing about some stuff that you love, you just don't have a figure connection to?
You know what? I will say this. I think I would if they weren't going to be hot toys.
Yeah.
Because I think that, which by the way, Samantha has been watching Hot Toys videos and is like, I want Hot Toys. I was like, those are like $300. And she's like, yes.
Got to get a couple promotions
That's
first.
That's crazy. But I think there's maybe a Soprano Hot Toys.
I think there's like reaction figures, maybe.
Maybe something like that.
But if there was like a line of like Marvel Legends-esque 6-inch articulated accessories, $22, $25.
I'll do you one better. I think I would do, because it was 1999 when they first came out, I would say maybe less articulated action figures, but if they were kind of along the lines of, I don't know what a good example is. If they were like, look, I'm looking at the Batman animated series.
Like G.I. Joe O-rings?
Maybe meet in the middle and go like the 4-inch, which I think these
It's
Batman
like a 4-inch Kenner,
kind of
Toy
like a
Biz.
Kenner. I think I would go that route.
Okay.
And then if they had like the art, and I would absolutely do that.
Bro, Arctic Tony Soprano?
100%.
Kenner
100%.
Arctic Tony Soprano?
Dude, that'd be amazing. But yeah, like they talk, right? Like the show is just talking and talking and talking. And they do a really good job at like going off on these little tangents or telling these like stories. And then you'll see this, like if you pay attention, you'll see them come back time and time and time again, referencing the same thing that they've referenced in like episode 1. And I'm like, man, there's such a rich history here.
Yeah, it's extreme detail with extreme continuity. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. I got a Silvio Dante, like Steven Van Zant's character story. And I'm going to pitch some of it, okay? I'm going to pitch some of it because I want you, I'm not going to take too much time, but I want, because I've pitched it a couple times to a couple people and they kind of just look at me.
and I feel like you're having some confidence that I'm going to be different.
Okay, so
I don't know what it is. I'm not judging it yet.
No,
but
I mean, like,
I'm getting the sense that you've already made up your mind. John's the one who's going to get me.
Silvio's character is, he's Tony's right-hand man.
Yep.
He's pretty wise. You typically see him he's pretty much the same. Like, Paulie Walnuts is like a character who kind of is like, he's very superstitious. He like very paranoid. He's kind of got like these weird tics and like kind of like a germaphobe. Chrissy is a drug addict who's like, can't really be trusted. And like a lot of these other characters kind of come and go. They all have like their tropes, right? Like, or their thing that is like why they're going to stress Tony out so badly. But then like Silvio is kind of like pretty consistent all the way through, you know, like he's kind of the guy that Tony sends in to do the work.
Yeah, he's kind of rock steady.
Yeah, like
him and Paulie Walnuts.
Well, Polly's a little too far to one direction.
Yeah, he kind of flies off the handle.
Yeah, and like there's like literally like a.
Is it the two of them that get stuck in the snow?
No, that's Polly and Chris.
Okay.
Yeah, which is Pine Barrens, one of the greatest episodes of TV of all time. Hilarious, directed by Steve Buscemi.
Amazing.
Yeah. But Silvio is like the guy that like Tony sends in to do things where it's like, it's probably pretty important. I need you to take a look at this, or I need you to get the ball rolling because we're gonna whack Richie. You know what I'm saying? And so,
God, I love Richie.
Yeah, and there's so many like characters in this universe. And there's these guys that are like pretty normal. They have somewhat of a moral code. They have that omerta to themselves, but they recognize like right and wrong. But they also are essentially sociopaths because they can brutally.
You have to be in order to do the job.
You have to be. So they kill people like it's nothing. Not only that, but they'll torture them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so there's this weird sort of lack of like humanity, but there's like there's like a scene where one of the guys, Patsy, like threatens to kill Tony's girlfriend, and he's like, hey, if you come back around or you try to talk to him or anything like that, like, you know, like it's gonna be really bad. It's not gonna be cinematic. Like it's just I'm gonna come for you or whatever. And then like later on in the episode, they show him like carrying like a bag of pasta, and he's like, yeah, I picked up the favorite kind of pasta that you like. And then he goes home. So it's like this weird thing, but I don't know, man. I was like, there's these characters that like really don't. They're like hitmen, right? And they would almost be like serial killers if
they are.
They are serial killers. Yeah. And I think that they would recognize if somebody was going too far in one direction, like being too much of a serial killer. I think they would pick up on it.
Yeah.
And I love crime thrillers, detective noir type stuff. Like that's beautiful. I think Silvio fits that amazingly. I think there's a room for a story to be told in a one-off little pocket-side universe where they start picking up on these weird things, where maybe there's one guy that's just like going a little bit too overboard, and they're trying to figure out why. And they're like, why is this happening? Why is this guy like, why are these random people kind of dying in certain ways? Why is it pushed too far in one direction? A little bit over the top. Like they'll even say like, maybe we should do this. And it's like, that just seems a little overstated, right? But I think there's room for like a Silvio Dante detective noir story, because
he's the one that's going overboard.
No, where he's like
going after somebody that's like doing too much.
Yeah, he's like.
So I've got a suggestion for you to do research.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of the Iceman Chronicles?
I've watched some of the interviews a long time ago.
Okay, watch them again.
Okay.
So for those of you that don't know, in like I want to say like the late 90s or the early 2000s, right around when Sopranos was out.
Yeah.
HBO did this 2-part interview with this guy named Richard Kuklinski, the Iceman, who was a mob hitman. His job was to kill for the mob. And he, same thing, kept a family life, kept a totally normal, like church-focused, social circle family life, and was killing people for the mob. And it's a sit-down interview with him where he's handcuffed to the table the entire time. He's an enormous human being. And he is very obviously, like in his eyes and in his tone, a sociopath that doesn't have ups or downs. And he explains how basically he would get curious about what would happen with a new weapon, and he would just go kill someone at random and things like that. And you could tell that he's remorseless about it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of along the lines. Also, he is the basis for the character Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Whoa.
He was watching these interviews and was like, I want to do like a remorseless like guy like that. And then he pitched it to WWE. They came back to him with a bunch of temperature-related names like Frost McFreeze and stuff like that. And he was like, no, that's all terrible. And then his wife was like, drink your tea before it gets stone cold. And then that's how the name came.
He's like, "What'd you say? Say that one more time."
What?
Yeah.
That's how Stone Cold Steve Austin came to be. So.
Man, that's crazy watching this dude. He's like a serial killer, man. I kind of want to embody something like that.
I saw a video of him trying to do a cold plunge this week that absolutely killed me. Cold plunge 1, Stone Cold Steve Austin 0.
That's funny. That is funny.
Yeah,
no, that's a great idea. But yeah, like I think I think Tony says at one point, maybe early on in the early season, where he's like, man, a lot of these guys just like, some of these young guys just can't wait to whack somebody.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's interesting. And I think they look at it as like it, you know, they call it like they just like, oh, look, I popped your cherry, right?
Yeah.
You do the first time, like Bobby Bacala, not until the 6th season, like does his first hit. Essentially,
that's like the intrigue of that world and why Hollywood keeps going back to it is because of like at least in The Sopranos, and I feel like in a lot of other stuff, most of the people feel the weight of ending another person's life, but then they justify it by being like, well, they're in the game.
Yeah.
And if you're in the game, then you're risking your life, and they're risking their own lives, and they absolve themselves of the morality of that. If you're in the game, that's part of the game.
Yeah.
But then they also look down on people who take it too far or kill outside of the game.
Right.
Right? Women and children and civilians and all that kind of stuff. So there's like this really deranged set of rules that's fascinating to like look at.
And I think that is something to be explored.
Yeah,
and I
agree with
think that it's like something, because Tony's too over, like he's got too many things on his plate. He's like all over the place. He's too like neurotic to want to be able to like think about it himself. But he would recognize it, whereas I think Syl is sort of like a mysterious kind of like, something ain't right here, you know? And then he just kind of goes into this deep dive and then maybe learns a little bit about the process of like going too far. Like Ralph Cifaretto, Joe...
Pantaleone.
Yeah, like...
Joey Pants, we call him in this house.
Yeah, so, and he's very much like...
She's a hooah.
Yeah, exactly. And like literally just kills the like stripper or whatever. Yeah. So it's like some character like that where they recognize like, dude, he's way over the top. He's like, he's something wrong with him, you know? Yeah. So I don't know, man.
So you want to do gangster, worst gangster. You want to do a detective story with gangster tracking worse gangster.
Something along those lines. I think that there's like in the you know, in the shadows of New Jersey, you know, and in between the street lights, I think there's just like there's somebody in there. You
either have a name for the story or you're writing a Journey song right now.
Something like that. Journey played on the very last episode of The Sopranos, so it's a full circle moment. But anyway,
thank you for joining us for Sopranos Talk.
Yeah, don't steal my story. All right, don't steal my story. If you do, if you want to talk more about it, please let's talk.
Well, I'm glad that you've had some creativity and that you've had some like entertainment and some stuff to keep you occupied this week. I've been in absolute turmoil this week. I have had my head in a vice all week because, so we went to Retromania last week.
Yes.
Wasn't the greatest trip to a convention. Go back and listen to that episode.
Correct.
Partly because of the way that the con was, partly because I really just don't have that many things left to buy. And so I was left very, very itchy. And I went on eBay, and I went on Walmart, and I went on Target, and I went on J&J, and I went on Jay's Toys, and I went on all of these websites, and I still couldn't scratch the itch.
Yeah.
I went on Amazon, and I canceled a pre-order, and I used those funds to buy a G.I. Joe Classified. Well, evidently I had done the pre-order with a gift card, which I no longer have, and it wouldn't transfer, and that order got canceled because of, you know...
Does it refund the gift card?
I don't know what it does, but it wouldn't...
Is it an Amazon gift card?
No, it was an American Express that I don't have the card for anymore.
Oh my God.
So Amazon goes, hey, there's no funds here, we can't... So I couldn't scratch the itch. This is more hyperbolic of a statement than what's happening in reality, but I'm contemplating retirement.
No.
Yeah. No. I'm saying I'm not really contemplating retirement, but I'm like, I don't know what's next is my point. I think my all-star days of putting up, 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists are over.
You're talking your weekly purchases is what you're saying.
Yeah, like I don't know how to daily scratch the itch or weekly rather. You know,
because that's the difference between you and I is that it's like there's a reason why most weekly purchases are just you.
Yeah.
Even though I had some this week, which we can talk about here in a
So
second.
we've touched on, and we'll get into this on deck collection. So, but here's kind of where my head's at today. I spent this whole week like borderline depressed about my collecting career because I was like, I think I reached the end. Not done as though I want to quit, but like I have 95% of all of my collections done. My Spider-Man collection is done. My X-Men collection is done. My modern WWE is like 95%. There's not.
And for those who are just listening, it's like all like it's your modern Marvel Legends.
My modern collections, which is the way larger piece of the pie chart of what I collect, like what I'm hunting, why I go to all these stores. So then I kind of got left with this like void. But then I remembered something, that this show has toy destiny, and that if I just talk about something at length enough, the universe will then present it to me.
Correct.
Which brings us to our on-deck collections.
Yes.
Lord of the Rings, it's about a fellowship
Frodo, look out! A cave troll!
on a mission to save Middle-earth.
Over here, Bigfoot!
It's about bravery.
Legolas, fire away! Got him! The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
It's about evil spirits
Look out! A ring wraith!
and the courage of heroes.
Over here, alerts! Miss!
It's about the power of teamwork.
Get him, Gimli!
Are you ready to join the fight?
Ah!
Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings action figures, cave troll, and ring wraith, each sold separately.
All right, so if you're new to the show, we do a segment called On Deck Collection, and basically what that means is things that we fully intend to collect in the future.
Yeah.
That we have put enough thought into as to like whether we're going to be completist, whether it's going to be on card, which figures we do want, which figures we don't want.
Do you want to, before you jump into that, talk about what you've been doing and then just recently we're like, nah, I'm out on it?
Yes.
Okay.
So, so that's what an on-deck collection is, and we're going to get into that right now. I'm going to talk about Kenner Terminator 2, which I've touched on a bunch of times and said I want to, but I haven't really genuinely dove into the nitty-gritty of, yes, these figures, no, these figures, what it looks like. So I'm going to dive into that. What I had intended to do, and I did talk about this on a couple episodes ago, was my girlfriend gave me the green light to move my sports sections. I have a 49ers wall and I have a Lakers wall, and you guys can do all the memes about 49ers and Lakers fans, and you know, I'm not a Cowboys fan also, and I'm not a Yankees fan, so you save your memes. Moving them from my toy room into the hall, which will free up essentially two halves of a wall for whatever. And I had planned
Starting lineup also?
Well, it'll be in the sports section.
Okay.
I'll keep doing starting lineup.
Yeah.
I'll actually be able to do more.
Yes.
Like significantly more. But I had planned on using that freed up space to do Star Wars vintage collection. And I bought, I don't even know, 5 or 8 vintage collection figures. I wrote out a whole Google Drive with the whole 36 figures that I wanted from the original trilogy. And then I got really, really itchy this week, and I went to a gang of stores.
Yeah.
And every time I saw Star Wars Vintage Collection and saw the figures that were on my checklist at a reasonable price, I didn't buy them.
Yes.
Because they did not suffice. They didn't scratch that itch.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I don't need to collect these.
Well, okay, so one of the things that I think we both kind of hit this stride of recognizing that Star Wars above like a lot, well, I think because we had been out, which like most 99% of people are out on Star Wars right now, as far as like just a franchise, because, you know, they basically were like, you know, in the writer's room, how do we
ruin this
this thing? And I came to the conclusion that, hey, you know what? Star Wars episode 1, 2, and 3, again, those are my Star Wars. very cheap figures. I started getting them, and I think that was like, same thing, because I think you had been watching the movies or something.
I watched the trilogy a month or two ago.
Yeah.
And I kind of just, every time that happens, I just get fired up on how much I love it. Mm-hmm. But that's why I just asked you about The Sopranos. Sopranos is your favorite thing.
Yeah.
And you're like, figures. That's how I am with Star Wars.
Yeah.
I can't explain it. I don't have an explanation because it very much lends itself to action figures,
Here's
obviously.
the thing. I think the difference is like, so I would probably be there with you if I didn't play with the ones that I'm recollecting again. Because, like, I had those. I loved them.
Yeah.
But did you play with Star Wars when you were younger?
I could take them or leave them. I never owned them, but they were plentiful at everybody's house.
Yeah.
The OG Kenner ones were in buckets at everybody's house. I think my disconnect, because I spent a lot of time thinking about it this week, is they're too, even those Kenner ones, they're too realistic. They're too one-to-one replica of what you see in the movie, and they're not toy enough. I think if you imagine a 90s Kenner, like the same as Batman the Animated Series and Swamp Thing and Batman Man of Steel, if that sort of press this button and a disc comes flying out, toyetic toy existed for the Star Wars stuff, that would interest me more. Like a little bit more cartoony.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't really know how to describe it.
That was what the old ones look like, kind of.
But they looked like the colors and the facial expressions, and they were attempting to make.
I mean, the Farm Boy Luke. Have you seen that?
I don't have a clear vision of it right
now.
That
one's like a really sought after figure. I think it's where they have the telescoping, like lightsaber that comes out of their wrist.
But so all those Star Wars vintage collection that I bought, those will be in our Whatnot sale on February 13th.
Still in the box?
Still in the box. They're in great condition. If other people love them, I get why.
Yeah.
I get why people love the Black Series. I get why they love the vintage collection. And so there'll be some good stuff there. I'm just not going to keep on pursuing it because it does not scratch that itch for me. Even like we've talked about, I have backup collections. For when I strike out, I can always go to video games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can always go to VHSs. I can always go to vinyl records just to come home with something so the trip wasn't a waste. And vintage collection wasn't even feeling that for me. So I was like, then I have to be totally out on it.
Yeah.
It won't make me happy if it's up on the wall if that's the case.
Right.
What will make me happy is Terminator 2.
Terminator 2.
So that can absolutely fill that space. Maybe not fill it, but put in a good portion of it. So the story goes, and I've kind of touched on it before. When I was a kid, I'm in 3rd grade. Shout out to Pinecrest Elementary School in Sebastopol, California. It's like the first week or so of school, and the after school daycare program took place in the like assembly room, which is essentially just a basketball court. You know, that room that every school has. Well, you wouldn't know anything about that. So it's got to be like the first week of school. I'm sitting, there's some like mats, like folded up like wrestling mats, and I'm like kneeled down and I'm playing with Power Arm Terminator T800, and I'm playing with what is it called? We'll go through them all here in a second. Melted T1000.
Yeah.
Teacher comes up to me and tells me, you're not allowed to bring toys from home, and takes them away from me. Like core memory, dude.
Wow.
Like snatching toys from a child.
Crazy.
Like core memory. I also have a picture that I found of myself in, I want to say 1st or 2nd grade, somewhere in that neighborhood. School photo, lasers in the background vibes, flat top.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing a Terminator 2 shirt in my school photo. So like I'm an OG.
Day one
Terminator 2 fan.
That's sick.
We've talked about it ad nauseum on this show that I am a Kenner obsessive. I just love Kenner and everything that they've really put out in their history. I did a top 10 Kenner list. You can go back and listen to that.
Yeah.
And we touched on the Terminator 2 figures a little bit on that. So now the road is clear. Vintage is the way to go for me going forward. And
as predicted.
And we know that when we talk about stuff at length, it happens. So that's what I'm trying to do here. So the Terminator 2 Kenner line, not a ton of stuff that was released. In all, there's like 35 items.
Started in 92?
Yes. 91.
Oh, whoa.
Started in 91, so I think it comes out a little ahead of the movie.
Okay.
Starts in 91. You've got your Series 1, 14 figures. Then it goes to Future War, 9 figures. Then it goes to 3D, which is not even based on the movie. It's based on the Universal Studios ride, which is based on the movie.
Yeah.
Which has its own story. Its own,
Interesting.
unique story. There's accessories and there's a collector's edition figure and all that kind of stuff. So here's what I want, though. I don't want 3D. Haven't seen the ride. Don't care. I think the box is cool, but it doesn't have anything to do with me. I don't want the Future War because that's not based on the movie. That's just made up for toys.
Yeah.
Very cool. I think I want more. I wish Marvel and the upcoming Mattel DC. I hope they just make stuff up.
Yeah.
Because that's fun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But what I want, first and foremost, is Series 1. There's 14 figures in Series 1, and I want them all. I want them bad.
So basically, the goal is to obtain 14 figures. And then that was it. That would be it for that. Okay.
Plus, so we'll get into what else, and I think everybody probably knows what else I need. But so Series 1, you've got Battle Damage Terminator, which is like gray shirt where the front comes off and reveals the ectoskeleton. That whole play mechanism of the like removable parts that show a skeleton underneath. I talk about this phenomenon a bunch on the show. There's some stuff that is too cool for a kid to resist. Legion of Doom, Ultimate Warrior, and a Terminator figure where it's a man on the outside and his chest comes off and there's a robot underneath.
Yeah.
How can a kid resist that?
Of course.
How can a 42-year-old resist that?
Of course.
Here's the other thing, though, is I need these as mint as possible. Oof. I'm looking for like 9s and aboves on card. Like, so that's what I'm on the lookout for.
Okay.
You have Blaster T-1000, which is he's in his cop uniform and he's got guns and pretty cool. You have Cyber Grip Villain. This guy doesn't exist in the movie, but he's part of the Series 1.
Sure.
If I was ranking these, that would be pretty low, but it's part of the line.
I think the question to ask, and maybe we can coin this, is like, would you have played with it?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
So if the mission is to just please, 9-year-old me, then yeah, Cyber Grip Villain is he's on the list for sure.
Cool.
Damage Repair Terminator. He's got like a green shirt and like a mechanical arm. So like just the term Damage Repair, that's a cool scene in the movie. You know what I mean? Endo Glow Terminator, which is like a glow in the dark kind of his like battery chest pack thing part is glow in the dark. Exploding T-1000. That's the one. That's the one that got taken away from me at school, where it's like it's like dissected diagonally and it's like half cop and half silver.
Oh, wow.
Which is obviously an infamous.
Did you ever get those back?
I must have, but that's not the part that my brain maintained.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I
Just
remember
the trauma of having something taken from you.
that I loved so much.
Do you remember the name of the teacher?
No, I don't.
I was going to say, we might
it could have been.
visit.
There was like a counselor or a guy who worked there. He also did the summer camp stuff, and I knew him every daycare and all summer for like 3 or 4 years. And his name was Jim Fagundis, and he was like this jacked, like handsome, dark. He looked like a cartoon of an army man.
Okay.
And he was just like the funnest guy. He would tell stupid jokes and stuff like that. It's possible that it was him,
I don't think so.
but Jim's my boy.
So that's what I'm saying. And
He honestly, him and Ernest, in my head when I was a
now
kid,
we're talking.
I was like,
Now we're talking.
Ernest goes to camp. I'm like, oh, this is the guy that's just like cool with kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was Jim
So
Fagundis. Shout out to Jim Fagundis.
Hey, he's got the same name, Jim Varney.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, somebody was saying something about how like Ernest died. I didn't know that Ernest died. And they were like, yeah, maybe Vern killed him. He finally got pissed off enough.
Vern was tired of
But
his crap.
it's like, yeah, he's jacked, he's handsome. What is he like? He's there's no need to take something from a kid.
I guarantee you Jim Fagundis was a Terminator fan, and he wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, that's
to
what I'm
me.
saying. I'm like,
Yeah.
he's already got a good life. He doesn't need
Yeah.
to have to make somebody else's worse.
Yeah. Side note: I remember we went to the public pool one time, like the whole daycare, and he had a tattoo of like a what do you call that style, that art style that you see in like native, like Phoenix, Arizona, kind of colorful, you know what I'm talking about, like teal and kind of orange and yellow, like art style of like that, like native,
like traditional.
yeah, but like you see it mostly in like Arizona kind of place. Anyways, he had a phoenix tattooed on his arm.
Okay.
And he would use one SPF on his body and another SPF on his tattoo. And I remember the other like teachers like ribbing him for that. Anyways,
that was probably
random.
What was
side
that,
note.
like the early 90s?
Yeah, like 92, 93.
So tattoos were like still probably like taboo. Like it was bad to the bone.
For sure. Okay, we've got John Connor from Series 1 that comes with the dirt bike. Irresistible to me.
Yeah.
Also found out that Edward Furlong and why is the actor who plays T-1000 slipping my mind, also in The Sopranos.
Also in The Sopranos, The Happy Wanderer.
Yeah, what is his name?
I don't know what his name is.
It's killing me that I can't remember that. And Linda Hamilton, they're all going to be at Big Texas Comic-Con in San Antonio. And I'm like, I'm not even an autograph guy. I might have to get some Terminator stuff autographed from them. Yeah. It's a little weird if Arnold's not there, but not weird enough to not do it.
Yeah.
Meltdown Terminator, totally fictional, totally fantasy, made up, still love it. Power Arm Terminator, that's the ace. If I'm ranking them, that's first and foremost. He's got like a red shirt and a mechanical arm, but he also has a regular arm, and his face is half Terminator and half Arnold. That was my favorite toy at that time. That I just like never put that thing down. Like I loved it. I might even consider doing an on-card collection and a loose collection of these. Like finish one and then start the other.
Yeah.
You got Secret Weapon Terminator, which looks a little closer to like Terminator 1. He's got like the sunglasses. He just looks like a murder machine. Techno Punch Terminator, which is the ectoskeleton. Must have. No Terminator collection's complete without that. White Hot T-1000, which is kind of like partway melted. There's one that comes with an orange arrow in the gun and one that comes with a white arrow in the gun. That's a variance. I don't know that I would need both, or even if I care which one's which. Whichever's cheaper, I'll gladly accept. There's a 12-inch Ultimate Terminator. It's cool. I don't know that I have to have it. Like, I'm not a completist in the first place. Like, I would like to have it, but I don't know that I have to have it. So that's basically Series 1 right there. That is like kind of mandatory. Then there's the Grail.
Okay.
The Grail of probably just toys in general, because it's up there with the USS Flag and things like that as far as kids wanted it and never had it. So in the accessories, you've got the Mobile Assault Vehicle, would love it, don't need it. The Heavy Metal Cycle, would love it, probably do need it. And the Bio-Flesh Regenerator, which if I see that in my life, I'll die happy.
Because that's also not, that's just a thing that they made, right?
You don't see it in the movie, but it's talked about, it's implied that you know that he's from the future, you know that he's a robot, you know that he's covered in fake skin. Well, that had to have happened somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is the factory that does that. So the to actually see it and the imagination of it, and that like, we've talked about this before with Star Wars and movies in general. Movies today feel this need to answer the unknown and do prequels and tell you, well, what you didn't see, here's what happened.
Yeah.
Oh, let's do a Weapons prequel. No, Weapons is great, leave it alone. Oh, let's do the Boba Fett show. Nope. I didn't want those questions answered. I don't want to see the Bio-Flesh Regenerator in a movie, but I do want this toy.
Right.
You know what I mean? I do. Like, and I think in Salvation you actually do see the factory, but I like. Okay, it's in toy form.
Again, would you have played with it?
The
answer's yes.
God.
Yeah.
You couldn't have gotten me away from it.
Yeah.
I would have been completely and utterly obsessed with it. And then they also sold Bio-Flesh Regenerator refills because it's an actual goop, like that you use for it. Kind of, I don't know if it's like similar to like Play-Doh-ish.
Yeah.
Kind of vibes, but it's an endoskeleton and then a form factor of a man, and you press the skeleton into it and it puts skin around him.
Great.
Yeah, which is like, oh my God, the whole concept of the Terminator world is fascinating.
I love it. I watched T2 recently.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, man, it's just so beautiful. Like, I would make Terminator 3 and pretend like nothing else happened after it, which I think they've been trying to do, and they keep butchering it every time.
Failing at it, yeah. The retcon has failed, I don't even know, 5 times at this point.
And I think that I would just go back in time and I would expand where they're at, and I would keep every aesthetic the exact same. I would not try to make it 2026.
Oh, it's one of the most gorgeous movies ever made. Like,
and yeah, the concept of just like, it's so 1980s, but it was like the pinnacle and like peak of like, wasn't complex, but was just beautiful enough to be like, oh, that's such a good idea.
And the action is so like visceral, like up close. And like one of my favorite shots in the history of movies is Arnold and John Connor and Sarah Connor are trying to run away in this tiny little Toyota pickup truck.
Yeah.
And they're being chased by an 18-wheeler filled with nitroglycerin. I mean, you read that on the script and you're like, this is the best movie ever.
Yeah.
But the 18-wheeler's bumping into the truck and Arnold goes, take the wheel to a child. And then he just grabs an assault rifle, gets out through the window, goes from the bed to the hood of the 18-wheeler, and then just point blank on a knee fires it into the windshield, into the T-1000's face, then cranks the wheel and rides the truck sliding on its side into a steel mill.
Beautiful.
Like they just had like buzzwords of like, what's the coolest? I'm coming so close to cussing right now.
Yeah.
What's the coolest stuff you could possibly imagine? Slam it all together and then film it expertly and beautifully, and then waste your life on Avatar after that. Like, God, it's just amazing. But so that's my mission: is mint on card Series 1 T2 plus the Bio-Flesh Regenerator.
Beautiful. Now let's see, what's the average cost?
That I actually haven't really looked into because I would really like to find this stuff in person because I want it so minty. I'm not confident that an eBay seller actually would have it minty.
Yeah.
But let's look at Power Arm Terminator. Let's see if I can find it on eBay. There's one listed right here for about $55, but I can't really tell the condition of it right there. Judging from the picture, it looks like the card's bent a little bit.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah. That's not that crazy.
It's not crazy, but is it minty? What is a minty one? Another $10, $20, $50? I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious. Good Lord. I am.
A loose one is $25.
Right.
Loose complete is $25.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
But it's like, is there a I'd be kind of curious to see like if you even typed in like mint on card version, see what they would go for, what they've sold for.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because Action Figure 411 doesn't really do like vintage, like back there, like everything's, and they're really the foremost experts on the market of stuff. And eBay will tell you what's going on right now, but it's tough to kind of gauge it. And I haven't seen minty ones in the wild. So
that's what scares me about it.
Yeah, I've seen them in the wild, but they're usually in really, really bad condition.
Yeah.
So here's one listed for $55, but I can see that the card is bent, even though I typed in mint on card. Here's one that looks like it's in kind of good shape, but it's got price stickers on it, $50.
Okay.
Here's one that like just at a glance looks like it's in good shape, $60.
Okay.
So nothing here, but here's another one that's $90. And maybe but the bubble is yellow, so it's in that range.
It just depends on the seller, I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
it's in that range, and if it is around $50, gladly, easily, easily, no hesitation on my part whatsoever on that. Like let's pull the trigger on that. But like I said, if I need it clean, and I can only really genuinely tell if I know the seller or if it's in person. You know what I mean? It's really hard to tell on eBay.
Yeah, and it's not going to be as fun.
Yeah, and it's not as fun. Yeah. The connection won't be there. If you're selling stuff on eBay, please take good pictures.
Yeah.
Like, please take good pictures where the item is in focus and centered and you can see the edges and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's my on-deck collection that I'm speaking into reality. You Want to talk about Lord of the Rings?
I do.
Here's an amazing coincidence.
Okay.
I've been so focused on other stuff this week,
Okay.
I forgot that that's what you were going to talk about.
Okay.
I was studying Ninja Turtles. I was
Yes.
looking up T2. I was, doing my martial arts. I completely and utterly forgot.
Okay.
Yesterday, Danielle goes, let's watch a good movie, because I've been on a kick of like some pretty bad movies.
Don't do this.
So we watched Fellowship of the Rings last night,
Okay.
having nothing to do with this podcast. I didn't realize you were going to talk about it till I opened my computer and saw that it was on the
Wow.
agenda.
Okay.
I really, really want to love those movies. I do. And I put it, just for me, in the same category as Dune. Where if someone tells me it's their favorite thing in the world, that it's the best thing ever made, I wouldn't argue that at all. It's just not for me. I can't, at a DNA level, I can't pay attention. I can't care. I want to. I would argue that Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Rings, is the most beautiful, best shot movie ever made. The content, though, just puts me to sleep. It just does. I'm sorry.
So, say your last words. Okay, here's the thing. I figured you would say that, and I think maybe we've talked about it a little bit. But I would say, like, genuinely, before we wouldn't have this conversation, if somebody came in and said, do you think John likes Lord of the Rings? I'd say, I just don't really think that is, I don't think those are for him. Because it's like, based on everything in here, yeah. I think action-packed, like, again, Terminator 2, like, It's a very clear written formula of just, like, over the top.
Yeah.
And not just the Sylvester Stallone movie, which you probably love.
I do.
Exactly. So I would say, like, those movies, I think, don't make sense for your DNA.
They don't. And I like I said, I respect it a lot. Like, I get it. If somebody else is like, this is the greatest thing that ever existed, I would be like, I'm very happy for you that you love it. And it deserves its place in history.
Same thing with Dune, because it's a very similar structure.
That's why I put them in the same category in my head.
Slow burn, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, I get it. I fully get it. Mm-hmm. You love it? I get that. There's a lot of stuff that people love where I'm like, why?
Yeah, exactly.
This is not that. There's a point where they're like in the woods and they're fighting the orcs, and who's the guy that's not Aragorn, the other man?
Boromir.
He like blows the horn.
Yeah.
And they're all, oh, it's the horn of whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I think that's for me in a movie. If it's like the jock strap of Balsamir and like if it's the thing, that's when I know this isn't me.
Just there's rich history and lore. And
that's a telltale sign that, oh, this is one of those things that I don't really.
I would say that you and I would likely disagree on movies more than we would agree to.
Oh, I'm virtually everything.
Yeah. Because it's like, I appreciate, again, my favorite movies. Like, I would say my favorite movie of all time is probably Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, which I like. I just don't like as much as you.
Yeah, but like, it's just, I love that slow burn, sort of like gritty, again, just like winding. Lord of the Rings is its own thing. Because it's funny, because you like Harry Potter.
I like Harry Potter. Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah.
I could care less about Harry Potter.
I don't love it. But yeah, okay, if somebody's like, oh, it's like, you're frozen in or you're sick, let's do a Harry Potter binge, I'd be like, all right, sounds good.
But it's like, you would think that
super action packed.
Yeah, and you would think that I am somebody that, because I love Lord of the Rings, like, I would be so desperate to watch like Game of Thrones. I really don't have an interest in Game of Thrones. It's very similar. It's fantasy. It's like that type of stuff. I
made it through 2 episodes.
Yeah, and then the same thing with Harry Potter. It's very similar structure. I mean, like, you look at freaking Dumbledore and Gandalf, and it's just like, okay, we see what's going on here. But I will say, like, I wasn't allowed to watch Harry Potter because it was like, black magic, satanic. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day. And I think, like, part of me, the same way I've talked about this with Pokemon, where it was like, I wasn't allowed to play Pokemon, and I think there was a version of just like, darn, I think. Like, I was like, darn it, I think. And then I realized that I'm like, nah, I'm good, man. Like, that like, play with your little, like, thin piece of paper. Here's Wolverine. So, Yeah, and like, but I wasn't, because like J.R.R. Tolkien was like, you know, friends with C.S. Lewis, which was like, they were, you know, C.S. Lewis was like a Christian author, right? So back then in the church days, where it was like, I wasn't allowed to watch Harry Potter, but I was allowed to watch Lord of the Rings, because Lord of the Rings was, or J.R.R. Tolkien was like friends with C.S. Lewis, who was also like a Christian, so they like shared similar beliefs. Very funny, right?
Yeah,
very,
dude,
just
that's so deep on the rules.
It's crazy, but you would think about it, but even like, you know, I would say Lord of the Rings is almost more terrifying, more graphic, more like evil in a way that they of like what they witnessed than Harry Potter.
I told Danielle as we were watching it, I go, this movie is the story of metal. And she was like, what do you mean? I was like, it starts off Led Zeppelin, right? Like Led Zeppelin's constantly talking about Mordor, and like their lyrics are about literally the Lord of the Rings.
Right.
But like the flutes and grass, and it starts off Led Zeppelin, then it moves on to being like 70s kind of Rainbow, like the band Rainbow. Then when they're getting the orcs out of the ground, I was like, now it's straight Dio. And then later on, when like, what's the thing that shall not pass?
Balrog.
Yeah, Balrog is like literally on the wall behind you. I was like, it's like Metallica, it has arrived.
There you go.
I was like, this movie is the history of metal.
So that's what I'm saying, and it's like, so watching Lord of the Rings, and then just like having every other kid be obsessed with like Harry Potter, and it's like,
it's kind of crazy that all this really huge pop culture like icon stuff is happening simultaneously.
Yeah, it's like happening at the same time.
X-Men.
Yes.
It's all happening at the exact same time.
Exactly.
Crazy.
And it's funny because like even now, like there, of course, because I would have watched Lord of the Rings where like these dudes are like wielding swords, cutting the heads off of freaking like monsters.
Yeah.
And then it's, you got a kid with glasses pointing a stick.
What is this? Oh, that's Harry Potter. I thought it was you watching Lord of the Rings.
But I'm just saying, it's like, yeah, I'm going to go watch a kid twirl a wand.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Sounds fun to me. I'm like, yeah, some freckle-faced kid. Like, come on. Like, I'm out of here, bro. Like, but yeah, I mean, like, Lord of the Rings, man, like, I have the Tree of Gondor tattooed on the back of my arm, and like, you know, nerdum tattoos are like, it's just what people do now. But like, to me, it was, I think I got mine back in like 2013 or 2014 or something like that. But it was like not just me being like, oh, like I'm a quirky fantasy nerd. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like, I am putting a symbol on me because of how much it meant to me. Like, I was joking around with a couple like friends that I hadn't seen in a long time who were both very similar. And I was like, man, like Lord of the Rings was a religion and Godzilla was a mindset, you know? Like, that's just...
that's a shirt.
That's a shirt.
That's
I will wear
a shirt.
That. I will
oh my
wear
God.
That. But it was like, you know, so at that time, I was very much, again, like, you know, as John insulted me earlier about not knowing what a gymnasium looked like in younger days. So I was homeschooled all the way up until 10th grade. So, homeschooled Lord of the Rings is a match made in heaven. Yeah. Because it's just like losers meets fantasy equals...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also have a knack for the
whimsical?
No, like the epic.
The epic, yeah.
Like you make everything epic. You turn everything epic.
I mean, I'm walking on the side of the street and I'm trying to make it epic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I said, if you see me walking with a cloak and a sword, then like, yeah. But like at the time, it was just like, it was so like, I think it was, because they shot it all back to back. They shot it all like from, you know, I think from 99 until like 2000 whatever, right? Yeah. So they would come out each year. I think 2001, 2002, 2003 is how they worked out.
I feel like I remember that's how it went down. And I was hooked in as that was happening.
Yeah.
I was like Return of the King was like the most anticipated thing in my life at the time. Because I was just rolled up in the excitement of it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I just like, I don't know, I think the MCU ruined it for me. I think the MCU, and because there's like action and comedy and drama and it's like bright and it's like, I think then trying to go back, it's because it's kind of a one note song. It's like, I told Danielle, it was like, it's like listening to it's like watching a classical music album. And you're like, I get it. I just can't really get into it. But if somebody else loves it, I'm like, for sure, I get why.
Yeah, but it's like, but then I look at that, and then I look at the current state of the MCU, and I'm just like,
not the current MCU,
we live
obviously.
in dark times.
Not the current
Yeah,
MCU.
but again, and it's like I would agree with you had I not known the future. This should be the future war is what we're living in right now. But man, like back then, and it was like, okay, being homeschooled and like having those movies and then just like living somewhat out in the country-ish and then just like going outside. So everything revolved around Lord of the Rings. Had my swords, my bow and arrow that would make or whatever. And it was just hours and hours spent out there with friends. And it was just like playing that out in the woods. I mean, it was just like, there were times where I'd come home, I felt like I had PTSD for a war that didn't actually happen.
Yeah. I can actually relate to that.
Most people can.
I was doing Rambo, but same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'd just sit down with your ecto cooler and your Kraft macaroni and cheese and just be like, I've seen some things,
I've seen a lot of things, man. Having a glass that looks like whiskey, but it's apple juice. So anyway, yeah, like, so that being said, it's really fascinating to me because, like, I think my philosophy now when it comes to movie figures, like, I'm not interested in those at all.
Man, it's a weird, we'll maybe do an episode about this psychological disconnect that I really struggle with movie figures, even if I adore the movie, when they're realistic, when they're trying to be really, really realistic. I just kind of struggle to care.
Well, because again, you're buying that actor's action figure, you know? Like, we've made the joke several times about how it's like buying a Bruce Banner figure is you're buying Mark Ruffalo action figure. It's like, why on God's green earth would I ever want this? Maybe if I did one United burn. In fact, I still think that's something we should do and record. But yeah, so like it's really weird to me, but like back then that was like I didn't think twice about it because I didn't think twice about X-Men. I didn't think twice about Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire like figures. Those are
that was happening at the same time too.
Same exact time.
God, dude.
Same exact time. So, you know, all of those things combined, like you don't think about that because that was what was coming out at the time, like the Spider-Man stuff, or not Spider-Man, but the Lord of the Rings. So, I had a handful. I didn't have a ton. Again, I talked about it before about like the figures that I did have, which, you know, were like very sacred to me.
And were you playing with them or just displaying them?
No, I was absolutely playing with them. The hard part though was that like because I wasn't getting toys all the time, and Lord of the Rings was like kind of tougher to find sometimes. Like I don't remember seeing
Who makes them?
Toy Biz.
Oh,
Toy Biz.
Okay.
Yes. So they were harder to find.
Dude, this is so weird. Like it's so weird. What are the odds? Is Toy Biz responsible for you loving Lord of the Rings?
100%.
Or like, you know what I mean?
No,
your ingrained investment.
I'll post later on Instagram in the comic books, right? That come with my grails, the Toy Biz Marvel Legends. When you open it, like you turn it around, it's the best ads you've ever seen in your life, man. It's just like, again, if I could print it and put it on a cake and eat it, I'm good.
I'm thinking that some of these toy companies, these vintage toy companies, represent a person. Toy Biz made you the type of person, and Kenner made me the type of person that I am. Kenner made the figures for the movies that we're talking about that I like. And Toy Biz made the figures for the type of stuff that you like, right? Like there's like a shirt idea or like a greater conversation of like putting people into archetypes based on the toy manufacturer.
I like that. I like that. We need to dive deeper into that because that's definitely like a thing. Or it's like a war.
Yeah.
And factions. And brother versus brother, except I wear the shield of Toy Biz.
See, the thing of thing. Yeah, that's...
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's fine. I've got missile launcher and grappling claw.
Well. So, but I've got more articulation, baby. So let's go. So yeah, like I loved Aragorn, right? Like Aragorn and Strider.
Yeah.
He's the coolest character. And I literally only had, out of all of those Lord of the Ring figures, I had 3 Aragorn figures. And that was it.
You didn't have any other characters?
Any other characters?
You didn't have like horses and orcs and stuff?
No, because I think for me it was like, I don't really remember seeing them as being like super plentiful at the Walmarts, right? That like in Bastrop where I grew up. And because I wasn't constantly getting toys, again, like my toys were like spread. They felt like they were so far apart between the next time that I got a toy. So it was like I think if I was going to get one, I had to make it count. And I think it was always going to be a Marvel one. Okay. So there were like the Lord of the Rings ones that I wanted to get. So it was really challenging to play Lord of the Rings whenever you have only one character.
Aragorn versus Aragorn.
It was pretty much like that, and then I would use Carnage. Because I was like, Carnage kind of looks like a monster that would be in Lord of the Rings. Yeah. So I would just use that.
Yeah, he's got Balrog vibes.
Yeah, like it's like, all right, he kind of looks like an orc or whatever. And then, so I would use those characters. And then that was pretty much it, but I always wanted all of them because my friends had them, man. Like, my friends always had all of, like, the toys that I wanted, you know? And so I had a friend that had pretty much like Gandalf, he had like orcs, he had Uruk-hai, he had the hobbits, he had like the horses, all of those things. And I would just like play with them from a distance. And looking back in hindsight now, it's like I still would be probably pretty selective on what I would get.
So would you hunt that line? That specific line? Because hasn't there been a bunch of different lines since? Isn't there like newer stuff?
I'm only going the Toy Biz because as I mentioned before about the comic books, you open that up, dude, there's a double page spread of those toys. Because it's Toy Biz. They're marketing. Yeah. They're what they have, right? It's like you look in the back, there's the TNA wrestling Toy Biz. Yeah. Then you look in the front, then it's like, oh my God, it's just so perfect, dude. It's so perfect. So
when is this? This is towards the tail end of Toy Biz.
No, this is still like in the heyday because it's 2000.
Oh, because they don't collapse until 2006.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, 2001, 2003.
So it's running concurrent with Legends.
Yes. Okay. Exactly. Again, Toy Biz does the incredible way of like how they present their toys. If you look at the Lord of the Rings box, everything like that, it's pretty good. Even yesterday I was going to try to buy some loose Lord of the Rings, and for some reason it was like, typically I'm pretty good about buying loose, but I don't know, it was just like a weird thing that didn't feel right. So I'm like, I think I might set the rule for myself where I don't buy loose Lord of the Rings.
On card?
I would think I'm going like on card. I think I'm going to open it still for sure.
But you want it minty, like guaranteed minty.
Yeah, and I think that like just fulfills like what it needs to fulfill in me.
Okay.
There are definitely characters that I absolutely don't need. In fact, the hardest part is I really don't need the hobbits, but it doesn't make sense for me not to have the hobbits.
I feel like you got to have the hobbits.
You have to.
They're not like lame.
They're just like I'm buying shrunken figures, you know? Like I don't like.
Yeah, that's like the idea.
I know it is the idea. So I definitely would.
The hobbits aren't like played for like they're meant to be like, oh, look how like brave and like I do really appreciate the concept of like, okay, you're the smallest, you're the most frightened.
Yeah.
You offer pretty much nothing.
Yes.
In this, and yet here you are just like making your way through.
It's the spirit.
There's really not that many stories like that.
No.
Like it's not like a common archetype that like is the
He may have even created that archetype, honestly.
Could be. Yeah. Very well could be.
I just even realized as I unlocked the memory of actually having Frodo and Sam, I actually had those two later on when Return of the King came out because they, in the end of the movie, they put on orc armor when they're like at Mount Doom and it's like the last stretch and they're like trying to blend in with all the characters. I had them in orc armor. So, yeah. But I probably would get them. I think I definitely would get like a Gimli. You need a Legolas because Legolas is super sick. Comes with like, you know, bow, arrow. He's got the 2 daggers.
Yeah.
I have a king, like Return of the King Aragorn, like in his king outfit. Now, here's the thing.
Are there duplicates and stuff? Is there like, so you had 3 Aragorns? Is there one per movie? Like, how does this work?
There's like multiple versions of like, let's say, I think there's probably like 3 versions of Strider.
Okay, like with the cloak.
Yeah.
And then like, because he kind of is gathering armor throughout the movie, so he's like changing up his look.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of different. There's like the. I want to say there's Strider. And then in Two Towers, you have like the where he's like not cloaked; he's kind of just wearing like garb, whatever type of thing.
So is your mission one version of everyone?
Probably, probably. Here's the thing, though: in like classic Toy Biz fashion, the face they just had a hard time nailing Viggo Mortensen.
He's an interesting looking human being.
He's an interesting looking person.
He's one of those people where you're like, is he hideous or gorgeous? I can't tell.
Yeah, he's a bizarre looking character.
If you go by the Letterboxd reviews, he is an absolute sex symbol.
See, but not if they saw the first Strider figure that
not if they're looking at the figure.
Dude, it was like they were struggling so bad to get the mold. I wish I should have, like, maybe I'll find a picture of it and share it with you so you can post it on Instagram. But it's just, he looks like they were like, we can't really get his kind of weird teeth, and like his nose is extra pointy. He looked like the Joker kind of, and I'm like, I guess this is a cool toy.
Yeah.
And the thing that I had the most beef with, which I think they fixed as time went on, was the sword was like bendy. It was like basically like it wasn't hard plastic. It was like, and I'm like, so it would just be like me trying to have him fight with just like this freaking bent over sword.
So it's like the sword fights in your dreams.
Pretty much like the sword fights in the dream. And so I definitely would get a Strider. I want to get the right Strider. I might get the one just for like pay homage to like the one that came first.
Sure.
That might actually be another thing we got to coin, the one that came first. Even if it is like the worst version of it, I think we still have to pay homage to it.
You just got to pay that homage.
So probably we'll get a Gandalf the gray, Gandalf the white. Definitely some orcs, definitely some Orokai. Probably some horse, like some ring wraiths. I think those are like absolutely. If I'm going to be like straight to the like paying, homage to the movie,
I gotta have good guys and bad guys.
Wraiths. Yeah. Shelob, which is the giant spider in the third movie, which I saw at Dallas Vintage Toys the last time we were there, and it was like $15. That's the beautiful thing about this movie, is that there's really not that big of a collector space for it, at least that I have seen.
I think it lends itself more to like movie props and like the higher end, like really, really bought in people that are chasing down like the, the actual collector's item stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So there's, I don't know, like average price is probably anywhere between $25 and $40. Okay. And I think depending on the
on card.
Okay. I think depending on the store you go to, I think you'll see average price $25.
Whoa.
And I think if they don't really know what they have or whatever, they're going to price up. But dude, I think I bought that Aragorn in box from one of the chemical toy fairs, and it was like $15.
Nice.
So beautiful price range, right in my wheelhouse. There's box sets. The box sets are freaking gorgeous, man. And they typically are probably about like $120. But if you're thinking about it, you're getting like 7 figures for like $120. So it kind of pays. Like that's something I could probably justify. Yeah. Because my philosophy, as I always talk about, is if I'm going to spend like a good amount of money, which I would say like $100, I want to walk away with a handful of items. And if I buy a box set for $120, it's like I'm walking away with like 5 or 6, 7 figures, whatever. So I think I could have multiples. I don't really know. I'm kind of different than you in that like you put together like a really specific list. I still think, and I've talked about this before, I still think in line with how I thought when I was younger. If I see it, if I can't resist it, I want to get it. And then again, asking that question, would I have played with this? So if like unfortunately, like if I look at like AON or something like that, gotta be honest, wouldn't have bought it. So I think I'm looking at it from pure like full force.
And do you have to find it in the wild, or can you get it on eBay?
Man, so like I love the eBay game. because it's basically that thing where, and it might be different for me than it is for you, and I might have just understood this finally because I've been kind of asking myself that question, like, why the heck do I not pull the eBay trigger more often? Because I get probably just as itchy as you do every single day. You very much, I mean, obviously, like, you could collect modern, so you can go out, you can retrieve something and come back.
You used to be able to.
You used to be able to. Whereas, like, for me, I think that I live and breathe for the in-person experience. That, to me, I think is what drives me. I also think that if I get on eBay, I believe that simply going through and looking at them might actually scratch the itch for me and buy me a little bit of time, because there's just something about pulling the trigger and then being like, oh man, like now I gotta wait 3 days or 5 days or whatever before it's here. I definitely think that's exciting because the mail thing of just being able to open it up and pull it out.
I love coming home and there's a box.
That's cool.
And it's like, let's go.
I can get behind that. But for some reason, like, I think to me it's so much more valuable that if I say, like, if I know we're going to a toy store in 2 weeks or in 3 weeks or like next month or something like that, I think I can hold out before I get to that point. And if I get real super itchy, then maybe I will pull the trigger. But those are typically purchases that I make that are at like the local toy stores that we have here, which are typically like, other than like one that is like, you know, Bat City Toys, they're moving and expanding. But there's like Star Wars Episode 1 that I can go scratch with, right?
Yeah.
A little $10 itch, right? Or scratch. But yeah, man, I think I owe it to myself to go back and get the things that I know I would have wanted back then. And again, like, I don't need to be a completist. I'm not a completist.
Yeah.
I like, my brain doesn't work like that. And my brain, again, still looks at things as what I've played with that. And there's certain characters and certain toys that I'm just like, I don't need the Theoden, right? The king of Rohan or whatever, you know. I don't need him. I don't need that old guy action figure. He would just slow me down, right? But there's so much. There's like, I would say even like, this might be something to like actually look at. But with Toy Biz, it's like they made so many iterations, so many versions, so many different boxes. And it may have been that they were, I got to do a little bit more research, but Fellowship, Two Towers, and then Return of the King, they were like different. They're different boxes. They may have expanded, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, man.
All right.
Sounds
like you got as much of a plan as you plan. Like,
yeah,
like that's as firm of a Christian plan as it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I'm about it. Like, I don't like the movie, but I do like that you like the movie.
Stop saying that, John. Stop saying that. Yeah.
And I like when we go out, we kind of try to keep an eye out for each other's stuff, like, and be like, dude, there's some Lord of the Rings over here,
right?
Like let's attack it.
There's a beautiful collection at Collector's Crossroads, and in their perfect and insane fashion, they just price it way up and they put it behind a case because
put it in glass where you plebeians aren't allowed to touch it.
Exactly,
and it's priced out of this world. Yeah.
So it's like it's within arm's reach, but they perfectly know how to reject business from their store.
Put it just outside of arm's reach.
Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, nice. Man, I'm excited about it. The hard part is, though, is that, you know, when we go to toy stores, I'm always looking for something else. But I think the beautiful thing about the Lord of the Rings is that they're typically at a lot of the toy stores that we typically frequent.
Yeah.
And I think that if I don't find anything of like what I'm like actively searching of like my more important priority collections, then I think the Lord of the Rings is probably where I'm going to start pulling the trigger.
Love it. We're already running pretty long here, so let's get on to the news.
New at 11, buyer beware. A local family is outraged over a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toy that they bought for their son. It says a variety of phrases, but the family believes one of them includes a swear word that starts with a B.
All right, we got a pretty stacked news week this week. Let's kick things off with the Masters of the Universe trailer. Yo, the 5-year-old in me that had a He-Man big wheel, a He-Man lunchbox, a He-Man thermos, the He-Man Holiday Special on VHS. He-Man, I will say, is one of those things that I just didn't bring with me when I grew up. Even when the very next thing came along, which was probably Ghostbusters and then probably Ninja Turtles. Somewhere in there. I just left He-Man behind. And I've gone back and I've watched it and I appreciated it. And I watched the 2002 show and I rewatched the Dolph Lundgren movie, which is like good, bad masterpiece. So I still have like my childhood appreciation for it. Bro, this trailer and how the visuals have nailed what the cartoon used to look like brought it all back. Like, immediately brought it all back. I was like, oh my god, like, Prince Adam turns into He-Man, the, like, Man-at-Arms and, like, Battle Cat and all these, like, characters done the way that I would have done it. And I've seen a lot of complaints that it looks like the MCU, and I'm like...
You say it looks... That would be my one thing, is that it looks like Guardians of the Galaxy.
It does, but watch the cartoon. It looks like Guardians of the Galaxy. It's sci-fi meets sword and sandals. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So, in order to do it justice, as a byproduct, it will look like the MCU.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's a conscious effort to go, let's do the MCU. It just sort of is samey kind of stuff.
Right.
It literally looks like the exact same plot as Thor.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like the same plot as Thor. But I'm like, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
it looks amazing. I'm not anticipating an Oscar-worthy movie here. So... I couldn't be happier with what I saw. If Jared Leto wasn't in it, that would make me happy.
Yeah, so my biggest fear, I think that Skeletor looks freaking awesome. I think everything looks pretty good. I'm actually pretty excited about seeing that. Yeah.
That's surprising.
I think if I were to change it up a little bit, I probably would do less of the daytime. I think that I've never seen an episode of He-Man in my entire life, but it feels like it's like pretty dark. It's like space outside.
Nah, it's very, very out in the daylight.
Okay.
Like you gotta like understand that the original Masters of the Universe was aimed at 5-year-olds.
Okay.
Like 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
8-year-olds, dude. So it's a really bright show.
Yeah.
It's rainbows.
I'm just scared that I'm like, please don't take off your mask, Skeletor. Like,
you don't need that.
You don't need that. But I'm like, is it in his contract that he needs to show his face once or something like that? Yeah. I'm like, don't do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no clue why you would even cast Jared Leto in something.
Honestly. He probably needs work.
Honestly, he's like a sex pest and a god-awful actor. Like, why does he have like blackmail on people? Like, what are we doing?
No, I think what it is that he's like canceled in main Hollywood. And I think that if they can get a name that is like decent, I guess, then they're gonna be like, okay, we're gonna.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, Blokies, which we don't really talk about a heck of a lot, but they kind of feel like they're like on the come up, and we're gonna end up talking about them a lot. They are getting together with Mega Man, so they've got something in the works that's coming soon between January 27th and 31st. We don't know what it is, but we know Blokies and Mega Man have got something in the works. Over at Hasbro Pulse, they showed off some Star Wars Black Series. So we've got Taun We and Watto and the Genoshan Warrior. In the Black Series, they look exactly like they look in the movies. So if you're a Black Series collector, great. Like, those will be available to you. Then Marvel Legends, also from Hasbro Pulse, put up for pre-order, might still be there, I'm pretty sure, of that Abomination.
Yeah.
Not necessarily news, because we don't generally talk about stuff that's already been announced and then goes up for pre-order. We usually talk about brand new news. But I did want to touch on this because there's like a disconnect on this figure that people are talking about. Like, it's getting a bunch of hate online that I'm seeing because it doesn't have fists. And I pre-ordered it. And if you guys follow at Mighty Champions, I kind of said, like, I want this line to take off. We did a whole episode about Hulk. We've been kind of in a Hulk headspace. You and I, one thing we very much agree on is old school Hulk and the energy that surrounds that and the art of that time period and the way that the Hulk was displayed. I want this line to take off. So I paid $45 to pre-order this figure because I want the line to take off. I want that artwork to have multiple figures and a full-blown line that's just like the Spider-Man retro card to be popular. it won't be as popular. I understand that. But so yeah, I just wanted to mention that Abomination is up for pre-order if you guys are interested in it. Over at McFarlane, Uncle Todd never disappoints. They showed off some variants, or as we like to call them on this show, repaints of the Ninja Turtle Page Punchers. They are the black, white, and green edition of the red platinum edition of the Ninja Turtles. So you have Donatello, Leonardo, Michelangelo, and Raphael there. Do what you will with that information.
Yeah.
And then in the wrestling space, another thing that was already shown off, but the SummerSlam series with China, Triple H, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Mankind, and the Build-A-Figure is Jesse the Body Ventura. They also showed off the Monday Night Wars Brian Clark, which you guys, if you've been listening to the show, you know that's like high on my list of acquisitions. I need more NWO members. Looks great. Like he's a B or C level NWO member, and that's my wheelhouse. I love those guys that like just were background NWO guys that didn't even matter. I love those guys. So give me more of that. And then probably the main event in the news of the week comes from MAFEX, and they showed off their Clark Kent, where I can't really even tell with this figure like what is, if it's two figures or if it has like a different upper body, but you have a Clark Kent who's just in a suit and glasses, and then there's another version where he's like ripping the shirt open and displaying Superman underneath. I don't know if it like is extra parts for a previous figure or what. I'm not really clear on what's going on here, but the Clark Kent standard version looks incredible.
Yeah.
Like incredible. What are MAFEX, like 130?
Something like that.
Somewhere in that neighborhood. They also showed off of Bruce Wayne, like getting off the airplane, like trench coat and scarf, bag, like equally as awesome.
I think there needs to be more of that.
Bro, dude, if you know the affordable companies start doing this, like, sign me up for that.
Yeah, I think there's a real need to be like the secret identity, you know, like versions.
Yeah, I'm all the way on board with it. When Mattel starts doing DC, please do this.
Yeah,
like please do this in like, you know, and they're
I
not
think there's
just
a huge market for that.
And it's not like the lame version. They look cool. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Clark Kent looks cool. Bruce Wayne looks like cool. Like they're doing something cool. Or like, yeah, it's hard to describe. If like, definitely go check them out online. But yeah, did you have any other news?
I think you covered it.
All right, you ready to quiz me on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Ready.
Let's do it.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, heroes in a half shell. They learned the ninja arts from their master, the Rat, and now these four green guys can really kick back.
The Shredder, sworn enemy of the Turtles.
It feels so good to be so bad.
With his henchmen, the dreaded Foot Soldiers, the mutants Bebop and Rocksteady.
What do I do with them? Destroy them!
All one turtle soup. From Playmates.
All right, if you guys have been listening for a minute, we had done a quiz a while back on the Thundercats. A lot of fun. If you want to kind of participate along, go back and listen to that. Feel free, obviously, this is done for you, not for us, to participate in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles quiz. Christian, what are our parameters?
All right, so it is vintage Playmates. So I guess 1988 through 1997. 97. Okay. It's multiple choice. It's 15 questions. Okay. And I would say there's a lot of, I would say just, you know, hopefully you did some research on some obscure characters. So that's...
I've been doing research since I was 5, bro.
Okay.
That's not, I mean, I have, but at the same time, I really haven't, like, really, truly investigated Playmates TMNT since I was a kid. Like, really, truly.
Okay.
Like, I walk by it and you tip my cap, give it a salute.
Yes.
I did do some research here, but like, don't judge me not on my current knowledge.
Right.
Know that I am a day one TMNT fanatic, but I may pass with flying colors and I may crash and burn here, but hopefully you guys will get some knowledge and some fun out of participating.
Okay. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Question number 1. What is the name of the mutant garbage man who came apart to reveal trash underneath?
God, I can picture him. I know exactly what he looks like. And this is multiple choice?
It's multiple choice. Okay. So here we go. We got A, dirtbag, B, muckman, C, trashzilla, D, sludge dude.
Sludge dude. Give him to me again.
Dirtbag, muckman, trashzilla, and sludge dude.
It's either dirtbag or muckman. Like, those both sound familiar to me. God, I wish I could sit through those old school episodes. Like, I just kind of can't. They're just. I'm gonna go A, dirtbag.
Oh man, starting off on the wrong foot. It is muckman.
I freaking knew it, and I talked myself out of it.
Yeah, trust your gut, man.
God.
All right, here we go. All right, question 2. Which flying bat mutant came packaged with a tiny, deranged sidekick?
All right, give me the options.
We got A, Bat Blastin' Baxter, B, Nightfang, C, Wingnut, D, Dark Claw.
Okay, so this one I know, and honestly, it's not my own knowledge. It's because of Toy Soldier Nick and his nomination for the Ninja Turtle Figure of the Year, which is Wingnut, who comes with Screw Loose.
You got it. Hit the nail.
Shout! I phoned a friend. I phoned a friend on that one.
There you go. All right. What villain literally had pizza slices built into his face? A, Slice. P.
P? I select P.
B.
Pizza the Hut.
There's a lot of P's in this question. B. Pepperoni Pete. C. Tony Soprano. Or D. No, it's C. Pizza Face. Or D. Mozzarella Man.
Come on, man. Just let me have some. This one is Pizza Face.
Perfect.
I remember Pizza Face.
That's hilarious, man. What was the name of the Turtles' iconic van?
Party Wagon.
Bam. Which mutant shark wore, which this one I think might be a little bit, so, you know, I did chat GPT.
Okay. I had a feeling.
But I fact checked most of them. So, here we go. Which mutant shark wore a leather jacket and played a guitar? A, Street Shark. B, Fin Fang. C, Chomp. D, Ray Fillet.
Okay, so I think I know the answer that you're looking for here, but I will say that I don't think that it's a shark. I think that it's Ray Fillet, and that Ray Fillet is a stingray. I could be wrong about that, but I believe that Ray Fillet is a stingray.
Well, we can ask ChatGPT later, but either way, you got the answer correct, so good job on that. And then number 6, we got what Foot Clan vehicle allowed Shredder's troops to ski on land? A, Foot Cruiser. B, Foot Glider. C, Foot Ski. D, Shred Sled.
So I didn't have any of the foot vehicles when I was a kid. And I don't really remember like seeing them or like loving them. Just because like it's the same thing with like, oh, I don't need the girl figures or whatever.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times I didn't really want the bad guys. And my outlook now is like you need both. You got to have a full slate. So I really have no knowledge of these things. So I'm gonna say what was the last one? Shred Sled. I'm gonna go with Shred Sled.
All right. Unfortunately, it is the Foot Ski.
Damn it!
It's like they didn't really think about how to come up with a name. I mean, all of the names other than Foot Ski are better than Foot Ski, and they were like, Those all actually might be other vehicles, to be honest. Which punk rock mutant cat was known for being rare in the line? A, Alley Cat. B, Scratch. C, Catmandu. Or D, Whiskers.
I think 3 of those are actual characters.
Probably.
But the one that I'm familiar with, not because of like an actual memory of it, but because Super 7 just put it out, is Scratch.
You got it.
Yes.
All right, number 8. Which massive flying vehicle was shaped like a turtle and could carry multiple figures? A, Shellcopter. B, turtle zeppelin, C, sky shell, or D, turtle blimp?
So Turtle Zeppelin is one of my all-time favorite bands.
Okay.
Big Turtle Zeppelin guy. Fourth album, definitely the best. If you recall, when we did our vehicle draft,
Yes.
I drafted the Turtle Blimp
Wow.
as my air command center.
There you go. You got it.
Nailed it.
All right, I gotta put a little check emoji next to that one. All right, here we go. So, which villain was a pink brain that piloted an android body? A, Baxter Stockman, B, Mozart, C, Krang, D, Brainiac.
So this is going to be a long episode because I got a story to tell you.
Okay.
When I was a kid, again, this is a lot of stuff tying back to daycare, but this is even earlier than Terminator 2. This is at Parkside, kindergarten through second, whatever that is. I'm in daycare, and we're drawing, and I draw a picture that is so good that the teachers take it, photocopy it, and use it as a coloring page for the other kids, and it's a drawing of Krang. Right? And I never got any better at drawing than that. Then, later on that day, another kid bets me that I don't know how to spell the cuss words. And I go, yes, I do know how to spell the cuss words. And he goes, prove it. So I take the piece of paper that I have in my pocket, which is a folded up drawing of Krang, and I write all the cuss words that I know on it, nail the spelling, by the way, and then I fold it back up after having won said bet. That kid's an idiot. And I put it back in my pocket. Then my dad comes to pick me up from daycare, and I have a drawing that I have done that I'm really proud of, and I hand it to him, and he unfolds it with every cuss word known to man written on this thing like a what's this thing that you do for like
I don't know what that's called, but yeah, I know
but
what you
basically
mean.
like unfolds it, and it's just like one cuss word after the next, and I was in so much trouble.
That is, you couldn't even write that, man. That is amazing. Oh, that is so good.
That kid was so dumb.
And you played yourself, man.
I did.
All right, number 10. What massive underground playset served as the Turtles' home base? A, sewer lair. B, turtle tunnel. C, sewer playset. D, underground HQ.
Run through those again.
Sewer lair, turtle tunnel, sewer playset, underground HQ.
Sewer lair? Sewer lair.
Okay, that is not correct.
What?
It is sewer playset.
That's what it's actually called?
I guess so.
Ah, dang it.
All right, finally we got you on one. All right, so number 11, which crocodile mutant was often depicted wielding a shotgun?
Yes.
A, Slash. B, Leatherhead. C, Croc Crusher. D, Swamp Thing.
So I don't remember him from the toy line, and I don't remember him from the cartoon, but I remember him from the video game,
Okay.
Turtles in Time, where you got to tangle with Leatherhead.
Okay.
Love Leatherhead.
You got it. All right, here we go. Number 12. Which pair of lesser-known villainous mutants wore a robotic mole and a mutant drill operator? Man, that's hard. A, Taka and Razar, right?
Taka and Razor, who are the
Razor.
bad guys from TMNT 2, not them.
There you go. B, Triceraton and Krang. C, Groundchuck and Dirtbag. C, Wingnut and Screwloose.
C.
Yep, you got it.
Yeah.
Dang, man. All right.
What was it? Groundchuck and Dirtbag?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that, but by process of elimination.
There you go.
Yeah.
What skateboard accessory came with Michelangelo and featured suction cups? A, Radical Rider. B, Sewer Surfer. C, Cheapskate. D, Half Pipe.
Oh, this is the hardest one for sure. Give them to me one more time.
The Radical Rider, Sewer Surfer, Cheapskate, Half Pipe.
I'm going to say Sewer Surfer.
It is Cheapskate.
Dang it.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. All right, number 14. What was the name of Shredder's massive mobile fortress / playset? A. Doom Dome. B. Technodrome. C. Skull Base. D. Fortress Maximus.
So it's Technodrome. It's like the most famous thing in the show, and it's like up there with the USS Flag and the Bio-Flesh Regenerator of figures that I wanted and never got. And you just gave me a purpose, yeah.
Good.
They've re-released it dozens of times.
Yeah.
It's not hard to get a hold of one in general,
Right.
but I feel like it's something I got to have in my life.
Love it. All right. What feature did early Turtle figures have that made them especially playable? A. This is number 15, by the way. Last question. A. Glow-in-the-dark weapons. B. Spring-loaded limbs. C. Talking phrases. D. Storage shells for weapons.
D, storage shells for weapons.
Dang.
And that's where Target started with their like Playmates like re-releases was the storage shell, which is series 2, I believe, is where the storage shells begin.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see here. I'm going to tally you up here.
I crushed this.
You did crush. You got, let's see.
Hopefully you guys, the listeners, did good on this too. Send us your scores at Mighty Champions.
Yeah, 4 out of 15 wrong.
Okay. So 11?
11.
Nah,
yeah,
nice.
Right, yeah. So surprisingly, I knew some of those you were going to get because I was worried that you weren't going to get the obscure characters. But again, I am not super familiar with
What even is obscure or not obscure?
Well, I figure they are obscure, like Pizza Face and stuff like that. But I was like, I think because again, I did use ChatGPT basically to make the like template for me as like the multiple choice. But I went back and like just looked at all of for reference to make sure that they were right because, to like fact check it. And then I tweaked some of them because some of them were so easy that I was like, I need you to make this harder. And then there were a couple that I was like, I feel like this is a good way to like challenge you with like what average knowledge would look like of the line. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, I think you did a pretty good job. Not as good as me, but all right, guys. Thank you very much for making us a part of your day. And get at us at Mighty Champions. Let us know how you did on your score and whether or not Ray is a stingray or a shark.
there you go.
And we will catch you guys next Monday. Peace.